are live with Miller's Jeff and Morgan and a couple of SPs. And we'll be talking
both
about...
work in a mill.
Yes. We'll be talking about the
trouble with the mill.
The episode A11, Bounty. The next two episodes are really good, especially the final one. This one has a reputation of being not so...
Sponsored by Bounty paper towels.
Or Bounty,
the quicker picker-upper.
Or Bounty like chocolate bars with like coconut inside them. Quite nice. The taste of paradise, apparently.
I don't think I've seen that before.
Oh, it's one of these British chocolates. There's a big difference.
Yeah, we got Mounds.
Mounds,
which is dark chocolate and coconut. Yeah.
British people, so British.
Yeah, British chocolate.
You know, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
man, Joy's got nuts. Mounds don't.
Speaking of nuts, an ENFP added me on Facebook. That was quite a surprise. My work saw friend request.
An ENFP TJPRE.
Yeah, I got a bit mixed up. So this episode had
that video that DJ R&D did where he said he'd become an ESTPJ.
Yeah.
He like absorbed all the qualities of the J side too, so he was now both.
Right. So if we go through, I did some photographs from the parody book Maximum Power, which is like brutally honest about. Now, so they have put joke things in like Tony Kaiser, Bernie wasn't in it. It was one of those joke bits. And then we've got here, this thinks here, Terry Nation thinking this was acceptable is insult enough. So,
acceptable in what?
The story, they're not impressed by the script, the people that, but I think it's okay. What do you think of it? Overall impressions?
Honestly, that they should have. The problem is their need to wrap up everything at the end of episodes, because it would have been much better, I think, if they had left it as like a cliffhanger, as well as, you know, they made it so that like the last thing that happened in the episode was, you know, Jenna was like double crossing him, and then that gives you like suspense for the next week. Instead, it just ended on this like sitcomish thing with like don't just stand there, and it's like.
Well, the reason why that happened is, this is what I got from the Liberation book, which is the more serious book, is that the episode was running severely under, so there was a heck of a lot of padding. So at the end, that scene has nothing to do with the story. I mean, that scene could have been like ditched, but it was just a heck of a lot. Like you have padding, such as listening to a record for over a minute. Blake looking at his collection. So you got here things like. Sarkoff spends 70 seconds listening to an old recording of singer Kathleen Ferrier, and Blake takes a full 45 seconds to admire Sarkoff's home decor.
Yeah, I like the red standby alert, apparently meaning stand around and do nothing. Red mobilization, wander around the house. And blue mobilization, allow the president and his daughter to escape, accompanied by two terrorists in an old car.
Yeah, that made me laugh. So yeah. I mean,
well, obviously, again, it's hurt by the fact that the episodes are like 50 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It would have been so much better in half the time, and then you could have made, you wouldn't have to have the padding, and then you could have a cliffhanger, and then in the next episode, if you resolve it, and so when you do it this way, it's like it drags, and then you still didn't really do anything. Like there were, some scenes that were good. Like I didn't know, when Jenna said the thing. I mean, when she said everybody was dead, I knew that wasn't true, but I didn't know exactly what was going on and who. Yeah. It's like we go from like there's one scene where whoever is like spraying Blake in the face with whatever it is, and then it's like, oh, it's this vaguely Arabian dressed dude who knows Jenna from a while back, and they're like reminisce for a few. They speak in one-liners to each other for 2 minutes, and then. It's like there was kind of a letdown from the setup. Like,
What setup?
The mystery of not knowing who the heck teleported onto the ship. Like, that part was done effectively because they didn't show him. And see, if they showed the dude come onto the ship, then that would have been less effective.
Weaponized fire extinguisher.
But because they didn't show him, that whole time you're wondering, okay, who's the one? Is it some beast that's eating everybody? Did Gan just go crazy again? What's going on here? The only real obvious thing was, when Gan said, "Okay, everything is fine. You should bring me over. I will definitely not try to kill you." Yeah. I mean, that part was obvious, but there was still a question of, who it was that was coming on the ship, and the computer was being no help, So,
if someone was doing an impression of Michael Pearce, you wouldn't really know if it was a voice synthesizer, because that's how you think. The guy that talks in what you think is a monotone in his videos.
Oh, that guy.
Yes, today we are talking about IMDB.
Well, you just spoke with more energy than he does. Your attempt to parody him is way more energetic.
But when I listen to him, I hear lots of little things, and I think he is. And
it talks like one of those narrators on like one of those PBS shows about like the history of sand or something like that. Sand has many uses dating back to the late BC something or other.
So
Egyptians used sand for many purposes.
Right. So
First they used.
Right. So Morgan, what do you think of? Because I listened to the commentary, folks. What do you think of this chick with the big mouth, Cynthia West?
She was amusing. If only she actually shot the dude. I just thought it was amusing that she continuously would criticize everyone constantly.
Yeah.
That was cool. But then she didn't shoot the guy and she let me down. I mean, I know she didn't for plot reasons and it wasn't character reasons, but still.
She's obviously a communist because she's wearing red.
Yeah, one of the weird things is like she goes on the Liberator and like the baddies let her have a costume change.
Yeah, they costume change for no reason, random parts. Yeah, I don't understand.
Like here and then like
actually costume it is. Like, I think she was in this one. Yeah, in that previous scene.
Yeah, well, I liked the red color, but the second outfit was better, and she definitely looks better with her hair down.
Oh yeah,
that's true for most people. But
so, what about the story in terms of Jenna, Jeff? Because you got her in the sparkly suit. And you got quite a bit of Jenna in the second half.
Well, that's kind of what I meant about the suspense of it. Is like they could have dragged out not knowing whether or not she was really double crossing him. Like as it is, the way they did it, it was like there wasn't any suspense to it. It was totally obvious.
I wouldn't have thought she was.
But they did. Whereas and they just had an episode where Avon, you could tell, seriously considered leaving. And then they have something where they could set up a realistic way where Jenna could do the same thing, but then they made it too obvious that she wasn't really doing it. So
I mean, when they first started using her, they already had her like a freaking lackey. Like she wasn't even like ever ditching these guys ever.
Right, and that's why like that would have been a more effective twist to be like, okay, well she was kind of playing along the whole time, but she had her own kind of thing she was looking out for. So it would have made more sense if they had extended it past the episode, so there was a real feeling of, oh, she did this, As it is, they make it too pat, where it's like, okay, well, we know this is the general stuff is going to get wrapped up by the end of the episode, even if there's a continuing narrative. At least so far, what they've done is that they set it up where, it's like if there's a new thing introduced that's a menace, it's going to be solved by the end of the episode. Which if you do that every time, it kind of makes it lose coolness. Because it doesn't, there's no like actual feeling in the audience of, oh, maybe she really is double crossing them, because it's like, no, this will obviously be back to normal by the end of the episode and everybody will have their sitcom laugh at the end and everything will be great.
Well, you see, you've got the next two stories. The next two stories are linked and there's like a big build up. So this is really is a filler episode.
Well, now you've ruined everything. I can't watch it anymore.
I just said the link. There's only a slight link. Well, you talk about episodes being linked on Homicide, so I can turn it back to you in that area.
Oh, that reminds me. I thought of something else I was going to say about that last Homicide episode. I was going to save it for the next Homicide review, but then since you brought up Homicide,
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Not your fault.
Because I'd rather talk about Homicide anyway. But there's the part where when Munch is like ruin the mood of everybody at the table in the restaurant, and then when Howard is like, I need this, and Danvers leans over and just goes, "Thanks a lot, Munch."
Yeah.
That was great. That's good.
Totally, dude.
Yeah, so the next episode of Homicide contains sausage links. No, I'm just kidding. Just because, you talked about linked.
Don't talk.
I've been instructed not to talk. Yeah,
Right.
so true false. Did you turn this into a true false test? Is that what you did with this book?
Well, what is it? Because I read it.
I don't know anyone, even teachers, that write on books as much as you do. Write and color and mark, like, man, there are people I know that like they would open up any of your books and they would like have a stroke.
Yeah, somebody wrote on Facebook, and this made me LOL. I think someone put, "Ben, I am not lending you any of my books."
Yeah. Like, I just think it's funny, but I seriously know people who would be like, "You've destroyed all of these books."
Look, like I had to check like which ones were a joke, like of the things in his movie. An Evel Knievel stunt bike, a packet of Toffos. I mean, these are something that's very. Was Evel Knievel American or British? Have you heard of him, Jeff?
American, as far as I know.
Right, but packet of Toffos is British. But yeah, these things were actually were
I'm
there.
gonna guess that it's toffee of some kind.
Yeah, it's
got toff in the name.
Yeah, it's a sort of like it's like a packet of sweets. Like it's chocolate with toffee in the middle.
Yeah, I was right. That's how amazingly brilliant I am.
Right, so let's go.
Why did you put a smiley face next to casual racism? Are you trying to say something, Ben?
No, it's because that was funny. I just found that funny because I put a smiley. If it's not an LOL, but it made me smile on the inside. I put a smile next to it. It's not an endorsement.
So you say.
Right.
No, you just did laugh out loud. Therefore, it was an LOL.
Yeah, but right now.
That's what that means.
Not at the time. Not at the time, though.
Oh, well. Quit living in the past, Ben.
So, yeah, what did you think of the reveal of Aren't I President Sarkoff's daughter? And then early on, she just calls him Sarkoff. I mean...
I think that's the great picture of your thumb. That's what I think.
So little.
That's another thing. There's another example of.
Told me previously because I didn't care.
Right, there's another example that they didn't kill her off, but sometimes they give you unnecessary information right before they kill somebody. In that case, it was just unnecessary information before she's never seen again, probably. Oh, okay. What? Yeah.
So this is bull. This is bull. In one scene, Zen falls out of his housing and rolls across the flight deck door. No, that's not true.
And would have been more exciting.
Right, and then you go, although there's absolutely no chemistry between Tice and Blake, the final joke of the episode is that she may have fancied him a bit. Well, that might be because they tacked it on at the end, because it was short.
Okay, all right, well, here's my stupid question, because I have to have at least one stupid question per episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I could ask nothing but stupid yarn, but these dudes like hijacked the ship.
Yeah. The Amagons.
So did they redecorate? Because like the area where they were, like I thought it was supposed to be like that sort of front control room that they're normally in, but it had it looked like it had like a lounge area that wasn't there before.
No, it's been there the whole time, Jeff. It's been there the whole time.
Nobody ever sits in it.
Yeah.
You're a censor. You should notice these things.
I remember Gan sitting in it as well as the Scrubadub.
Well, they're always like behind these like thingies.
Not always. As is evident by the fact that they weren't.
It looked totally different than what it looked like before to me.
It shows how little you paid attention.
Yeah, well,
That sofa is that cool sofa at the front has been there the whole time.
they didn't like drape anything over it or something.
No.
Well, see, okay, all right, look how it looks in that scene. And do you have a picture of the later scene with the Arabian dude in there?
Yeah.
Does it look the same? Because it looked different to me. Maybe I'm just too good a censor that you guys didn't notice it change, and I did. Huh? Take that.
Maybe.
Right.
Right,
What
What are you talking about? That's what he does best.
I thought this was good. They shot where she just puts her leg up and then takes a little gun out.
Yeah, at first I didn't know who that was.
I can actually sit. Yeah, your superior scenting skills, totally.
Well, I see everything there. I told you it was a stupid question.
I know.
Right, so
you have it zoomed out. You know where you can actually see the whole area.
right, okay.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, I'll have a look. In previous episodes, I have done. Right, I'm going to go to a different folder because I have recorded. I do have an image where I did do the whole thing because I would.
No, I don't mean from a previous episode. I mean in this one.
Oh, flipping heck! I'll have a look.
What are you, pinfold?
Pinfold, hush.
I'll have a look. It's the same, but I'm looking for one.
Whatever. It's not that important. Life goes on.
Right. There's part of it. They did use some different angles in this. Share screen.
All I'm saying is it appeared very different to me. So at first I was confused because I thought they were on a different ship until they talked to the computer, and then I was like, do all their computers in different ships have the same voice? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's supposed to be the same ship.
I think it's just because this might be the first time that new people have sat there.
I guess, because it just looked way different. It looked more colorful. Maybe it's just because what's-his-face had the outfit that had some color.
Well, sometimes they do put the set together because this is not a standing set. What they will take it apart and put it back together again because the studio's reused for the programs. And that is why.
Probably they rearranged it slightly to accommodate the people, that many people being in it, because normally there's not.
Yeah, maybe. And sometimes certain bits of the set go missing, such as like the boosters on the. But yeah, I mean, I think the set is well designed, but it's a bit shabby in its implementation.
Yeah. So just with that shot you have on there now. Okay, where is the place where the crew are normally sitting in this picture? Yeah, they basically are. They're like behind things, like when Jenna's like driving the ship with her weird things that you pull and put around. Like, where is that in relation to this?
Right. Well, I can show that in previous grabs because I've got.
No, but I'm talking about the one you have up now. Like in relation to what it's looking at, where is that?
Well, I can show that if I go to a previous episode where I'll take it.
Without moving.
Yeah, I'm saying not using a different thing. I'm saying
I can't.
To that.
Well, I've not got a grab of it though.
Yeah, but you're like the Blake 7 expert. You should have all this stuff memorized.
Oh no!
You're saying if you were dropped into that spot, you couldn't locate the place where the navigation?
Yeah, I know where it is from a previous. I know exactly where it is from a previous.
Well then, put up the same picture and tell me where it is.
Well, I can show you where it is from another image of the flight deck. Because early on, I used to take photos of that area of the ship.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm talking about in relation to that picture itself.
Yeah,
where in that picture?
Yeah, I'll be able to show that.
Be?
Well, you want to know where they normally stand, so I can show you a picture of where they normally stand.
But that's not what I mean. I mean, if you're looking at it from the angle of that picture,
Yeah.
Where is it from there? Not let's see the thing in a different picture. In that picture.
Okay. Okay.
Like, you know how maps will be like, it's a map of some island in the ocean, but on the left side of the map, it'll have an arrow and say, like, to blah, 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 sea. And so the blah, 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 sea is not on the map, but you can say which direction it is.
Right.
So on that picture, I'm saying, in that picture, which direction is that?
Okay. Okay. I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Right. Okay.
He's reconsidering his decision to do videos with me.
No, I'm not. But, so this is the lounge area in front of all these like stations at the back. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know where they normally stand. Okay. Right. I'll have a look through these at the bottom. Right. So there's part of it. So they're so the lounge area is on the left, and they're the control
Okay, so when
stations.
they're standing that way and they're looking straight ahead at the screen, then the lounge thing is like where she's sitting. It would be to her.
It's on her left.
Picture, it would be,
Sorry, on her right.
Yeah, so in this picture, it's on everybody's right because they're all looking straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. See,
You have to be very careful.
There are episodes where they really didn't show that because they don't ever go over there.
Yeah, that's written about that in the book, where it's difficult to shoot that side because if you go slightly too far, you get the edge of the set. And it's like they talk about.
Why, to me, I guess because there was nobody else behind them in the usual spots, then it was hard to get like the reference point for where they were in the room. So it looked totally different. They hardly ever show from that angle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, usually they show it from the other side, but but you'd have to be very careful because the set ends over there. So. Right, and then because usually
it's very like
right.
Most of the time, those things are shot. They're shot at a very close angle. They don't have that wide shot like they did in this episode, and so it looked very different in terms of the way that they had it on camera.
Yeah.
Because like where it is there in that picture, okay, it just kind of looks like there's a chair over there. It doesn't look like this large area. Like in this episode, it was like there was this. It looked bigger. You know, there was more. So it really looks like they added more seating to it for the episode. And I'm not saying I know that they did. I'm just saying it appeared to be that way.
All right. I'll get more. This is all stuff set.
Anyway.
Here we go. Possibly they might have added a bit more.
Yeah, see, I obviously my take on the room was not very my perception of it wasn't entirely accurate because I was thinking of it as that sort of back entrance to the bridge or whatever you want to call it was like straight on, like if you walked onto the bridge from there, and you went straight, you would be like right into the places where they sit. When they're behind the controls, I mean. And it appears like it's further off to the left than I thought it was. So it's a larger room.
Yeah.
Than it appears.
The set's designed by Roger Murray Leach, I think. And as you know, he's a good designer on Doctor Who. He did the Elkin Space.
The guy who's was he ever on Doctor Who? Because
Which guy? Sarkoff. No, but it actually says in the book that in Maximum Power it says he looks like a Doctor Who character. Apparently, it's called,
he looked really familiar.
I like the way the gun appeared. As this guy appeared, and you just saw this weird gun, and then I like the way that was shot.
Yeah, I said it was a super soaker, but But when I made a comment at one point when they were kept talking about Sarkoff, that I thought that was the name of the dude from Voltron, and I realized that was actually Zarkon. So if you combine the two, you have Zarkon Sarkoff.
Oh, right, okay.
You know,
No need
like
to get
wax
offensive.
on, wax off.
All right.
King Zarkon was the Voltron dude.
John
I
Bone.
already said that like Robotech seemed like they borrowed some stuff from Blake 7, and maybe Voltron did too.
Apparently, Voltron was a character in Battle of the Planets, and what he would do in Battle of the Planets, this was a character that would change sex, and sometimes he had these feminine lips, and what they changed, Voltron would change sex, and they changed it in the American version and said that was his sister. That character was called Voltron. That character was called Voltron in Battle of the Planets.
I don't know what Battle of the Planets is.
Oh, it was maybe
I know
called
in
G-Force.
Voltron, I watched all of Voltron, and they didn't show any sister of Voltron. The only thing they had is they had like the other thing, which is where it was some other robot that wasn't even supposed to be Voltron, that was made out of cars, but they did the usual thing of saying, well, the Americans won't know any different, that this is a different Japanese show, and they made it into another Voltron.
So that ping pong type dialogue, you were saying at one point on the commentary, you said, "Whoa, do these guys speak in more than one line at a time?"
Well, yeah, because it was like they were just doing this back and forth one-liner thing.
Yeah, that's a trademark of Chris Boucher's dialogue, because he did a lot of rewriting.
Uncle Buck, the exchange between John Candy and Macaulay Culkin, where he's like just rattling off stuff like, are you this, are you that, this, that, it's all these questions like, and he's like, yeah, you have much more hair in your nose than my dad. How not have you noticed? I'm a kid. That's my job. It's like this rapid fire exchange between the two. Yeah, its carrying level went.
Yeah, okay. Right, sorry about that. I was doing a show. Voltron was this weird villain in Battle of the Planets.
All right, whatever.
Right, okay. Weird, very weird. So, what we got here? So what did you think of the dialogue by Boucher?
Nothing.
Right, okay. What did you think of the character of President Sarkoff?
Also nothing.
What do you think of him, Morgan?
Yeah.
Seemed familiar.
Right. I thought the character was quite well drawn and well acted. I thought it was
drawn.
Okay. I thought it was quite moving, him being a prisoner and like.
I hated the way he destroyed his record. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
Well, Blake can be ruthless, like breaks people's necks.
When he lied about being a murderer, he's totally a murderer. It's like when the doctor in the first Doctor, he was like, I never take a life. I'm like, man, you're such a big liar. You've taken so many lives since the show started. So yeah, he's a big fat liar.
Well, it's a tough.
I have to give him credit though. For casting the guy that they did to play Blake, because, like, in almost every American show where there's sort of like this leader hero guy, they cast a guy who's good looking, and they didn't feel the need to do that with Blake 7, which I give him props for, because there's a lot of shows like that's kind of just like a cliche. You have like the dashing leader guy or whatever, and they were like, let's get this kind of chubby scrub with curly hair, and so it works because he seems more realistic, like he's some dude rather than somebody who's like gonna walk in the room and look at people weird and they're gonna fall in love with them or something. That's why I didn't even get, like, Morgan says something about everyone falling in love with Blake. I'm like, doesn't seem like that way to me.
They're trying to force that, and like every opportunity, they're like, "Hey, this chick said she has a hot Blake," but it doesn't
But-
matter at all, and has nothing to do with anything.
Like, nobody ever said that, though. In fact, the only one that actually ever showed him any affection was Jenna, and it seemed kind of unnatural.
It's all in. So I was saying.
So it seemed to come out of nowhere. But yeah, I didn't really get the feeling that the chick, the Nazi chick or whatever she was in love with them. She just seemed like she's that way with everybody. She just has that demeanor.
I think it was tacked on to the end because it was running under.
Yeah, and they cut the scene where her jaw expands and she just eats everybody.
Yeah, I mean the special effects weren't good on that one. Yeah, so they could have.
I'm gonna make that in my movie. I've got a movie called Hungry Trolls that I'm gonna make, and that's gonna be what it like. No, because they're just like singularly trying to eat people because they're hungry.
Oh, okay.
So they don't really have a personality type. They just want to eat. So they could be ESFPs. Yeah, he said, are they ENTPs? Because I was like, they're uncontrolled. No, you see, they disguise themselves as humans, but then they expand and they eat people. Because they're trolls and they're hungry.
Right.
That's why the movie's called Hungry Trolls.
That's insanity.
And if I can make the movie while Will Ryan is still like alive and kicking, then he's definitely going to play like my mall security guard character.
I got mixed up. The guy is not called Volton. He's called Zoltar.
No, you're going to have to make a whole video apologizing to people for your horrible mistake.
Yeah. Right. So
It doesn't look a thing like Voltron. This looks like some kind of weird, like, bat-eared thing.
Yeah, I know.
Get that off my screen.
And
it's horrible.
It will be. I'm just getting.
I give that picture a -7 out of 10.
Okay.
Haunt my dreams. Give me nightmares.
So apparently, the woman that played this character was a model, and it was a character added by Chris Boucher.
All right. In the previous one, the president just talked to himself.
And then
Blake was held up by a invisible something or other.
And we mentioned the padding. Yeah, she calls her father Sarkoff, so I wonder if...
I don't know. It didn't look like she had that much padding.
Okay, fair enough. So has Morgan ever called you Miller?
Not that I can remember.
Because she calls him Sarkoff.
Yeah, that's totally related.
What did you think of the politics of how the Federation works?
I think they've got a good chance to win New York and New Jersey, but they're not going to win Wisconsin or Idaho.
Okay. And I think we talked a little bit about Blake's. What do you think of the realism?
It's too close to call in Missouri between the Federation and the Amagons or whatever they would call.
Okay, who's more ruthless, Pemberton or Blake?
What?
More ruthless. Well, I don't actually know of anyone that Pemberton has actually killed, so I guess by default Blake would have to get that. But
Blake just randomly murdered some people.
But there's probably quite a few people that would rather work with Blake than Pemberton.
I think if Pemberton was in the Blake's on the crew, then he would kill his fair number of people.
Well, maybe. It's tough to know.
I think he'd be tired of all those people.
Yeah, he might not stick around, but he would be more dramatic than most of them are. So it would actually give a little bit. It would add some drama because most of the time they're all a little subdued, except when they're like going crazy because their limiters have malfunctioned or whatever.
What did you think of these exploding necklace things? In terms of the jeopardy they created and the tension.
Just go ahead and leave that picture up. That's a good look. Yeah, I like that. She could almost fit into the last homicide episode we saw with the leather shop and all that, like that outfit. Just needs the yeah, she's got the sparkly outfit. Just needs to have the jacket over it with the same sparkles, and then she's good. She's got the choker and the double choker.
Yeah, but as an actual device, what did you think of that for like creating Jeopardy?
I think you should have asked. It said your answer in the form of a question.
Okay, as a thing for creating tension, like this thing that could blow up around someone's neck.
This picture looks like it's taken from like the beginning of like a Cinemax movie or something. She's trying to escape from the terrorists, but then they get to know each other. Well,
I'll keep pictures of Jenna on screen because I know you like her. Yeah, I like the yeah, go on.
You stopped talking and turned my air conditioner off.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, I like the yeah. So I like the necklace things because this is something that can go off and kill them. And I thought it was quite a...
And you want them all dead.
No, I just thought it was quite good Jeopardy because you could imagine having something around your neck.
But it had a button I could have pushed and just detonated all of them. It would have done it. Yeah, that would have made for a... See, if I was writing on the show, you know, it would have ended so many times by now. Because I would have killed them all off except for Jenna. And the chick from that one episode, Sarah, who kept her alive too. Jenna, right. Sarah, maybe Avon. I might let him live.
Oh, good.
So the three of them would be the crew.
Right, and then when the car crashed, it was
the Avon's 3.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not saying anything. Right.
Actually, you are.
Right, and then there was this weird thing. Sarkoff brings back the box that Blake told Callie to hide, and the only thing that's in the box is like that climbing rope thing that he could have like carried on his back.
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering. Go on.
So why did Jenna like want to go to where the people, like the rest of the crew, was held captive when she didn't actually do anything? Like, did you think she was going to have an opportunity to help them in some way, or tell them that she was going to save them or something?
Well, she originally thought she could go there on her own, and then the guard insisted on going with her.
Uh-huh.
And she wanted to see... Well, they went along with it, didn't they? The Amagons.
Huh?
But I do see your point. But
I just didn't get that part. Like, what was she was actually trying to do? I feel like she was just like taking out guards one by one. Like, well, what are you doing? I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, I shall come with you. All right. 2 seconds later, kick gun out, take him down. Oh wait, it's another guard. Hey, where are you going? See, if they wanted to do padding, they just could have done that 4 more times, and then she just has a stack of guards that she's piling up.
I mean, did you see the bit when she went behind them and then she saw that they'd taken their restrainers off, and then so she knew that they'd broken their restrainers and said, "Oh, nice to see you all behaving yourselves."
And I'm surprised that all of the rest of them didn't notice that when they know exactly where they hid them, know exactly where she went, and you could have heard her kick the freaking things. So why are they all acting like, oh no, she betrayed us? And everyone was like, why can't you get it through your thick skull? She betrayed us. And it's like, come on, guys, you really didn't notice that blatant display of non-betrayal?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they're doing it for the benefit of the guard. Maybe they're doing it for the benefit of the guard.
The guard wasn't there.
I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes on the craft of necklace breaking into.
I'm talking about when Avon went back to the door after the guard already left.
Maybe the director added that later on. and the
Maybe.
didn't tell the cast and didn't tell the
Too
cast.
bad he didn't add a plot. Oh.
Right, then we got we get some backstory on Jenna. As
We do?
well, I mean the fact that
Yeah,
she
see, like
had-
that. Yeah, that would have been more interesting. Like if she flew off with him or something. Just do something that just make it actually happen. Things that happen. Stuff. Like I mean, the one exciting part was when the thing appeared and did stuff. Because it's like something was happening, and you're like, oh, there's some kind of wild, weird beast on the ship, but then it was just some dude.
Yeah, I've written here costume
Like fake
change.
Arabian or something.
Yeah, I mean I've written here.
Was that what they were referring to as casual racism?
Maybe.
That it was like, oh, it's some greedy smuggler dudes. They look Arabian.
Yeah. And then you got I put here costume change for the tall Tice. Does the Liberator have a high and mighty wardrobe?
I think it's Zen just changes the outfits that he doesn't like.
Yeah,
Every now
like
and then.
Jenna has 2 outfits.
Your outfit has been changed. I was bored with the last one.
Blake has more outfits than Jenna.
Yeah, well, he's got to look good for those late night rendezvous with Squirrely.
So, I think Morgan has been saying that the chicks haven't been doing quite a lot in this series, but at least 3 of them got something to do in this one.
You almost killed him, man.
Oh man, that was some major spit take avoidance.
Oh, what happened?
I started to take a swig of my drink and you made me bust out laughing with your.
What did I
been
say?
saying the chicks haven't been doing anything. That's
did you
definitely
think
what he's been constantly saying.
Yeah.
Comes up behind me at random times. The chicks haven't been doing anything.
Well, do you think Callie was better, Morgan?
No, she was still useless.
Okay.
Hey, at least she actually telepathied one time.
Oh yeah, that's what I pointed out. Yeah, that she actually used telepathy in a useful way.
Yeah, she was like, rather than shouting up this 3 feet wall, I can think up this 3 feet wall.
And not alert the guards, which they should have been alerted by everything
The
else.
wall couldn't have been any higher, so that chubby Blake wouldn't have been able to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stupid guards in Doctor Who, so.
Yes, there are.
That doesn't make all stupid guards better.
No. In fact, I was like, man, these ones like Bebop and Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles would have been more effective guards than these guys.
I know who those are. I get that reference.
Yeah.
And one of them's a rhino, I think.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Jenna in this story? In terms of, like, she got more to do.
Yeah, she should, like I said, she should have gone off with the dude, and then it should have been Jenna's 5 or whatever, She's more interesting, so. Her and Avon and the chick that Blake viciously murdered back then, they should, like, just choosing offshoots.
She killed herself.
She decided to go back.
Choosing spin-off shows that I would make, eliminate the boring characters and keep the good ones.
If it was written better, because, like, the actors are good for the most part.
Yeah, they're
I
pretty
think
good
the guy who
most of the
plays
time.
Blake puts his lines across convincingly. They're just bad.
That's the one thing that there's an episode.
Not even just his lines. I was talking about before when he was just staring out the freaking window. He did that good too.
I still stand by what I said about I don't think there's any bad Homicide episodes, but there is one that I can think of from the 3rd season where there's a scene where the acting is just not good from any of the 3 people in the scene. And so, like, if I was going to show somebody, like, that would not be the example thing I would show to anyone who watch Homicide, because I'm like that scene, they just, like, were like, we don't care. For the rest of the episode is good. But in that one scene, it was like even the guest, like the witness or whatever, just sounds like he's reading off a teleprompter or something. And that was just like being a scene where they sounded this bad on Homicide. So it's rare enough that I saw it earlier today. That's why meant why I remembered it. Because I was looking at other stuff on YouTube, but because YouTube, like, you know, learns from your history and suggests videos, because stuff, it's got like, it has homicide videos pop up within this. I was like, remember what that episode was about, so I clicked on it, and then when I start watching it, then I start watching more of it. I didn't watch the the acting was bad in that scene. And so, you know, if I said that, blow he sees bad acting even when there is any. So, totally that scene. It was like on Doctor pretty good. So it's a sad one. In the Aztecs, for instance, most of the people they had in that were really good, but then they have plays Tunilla and the one who's like the sacrifice victim, and then those two are just terrible. And like rejected from some high school theater production.
Morgan mentioned
everybody else was really good. Morgan mentioned what?
Morgan mentioned Blake looking out of the window. When did he look out of the window? Was that a previous story?
Yeah.
Was it that weird one, the web, when he looked out the window and he saw the decimers?
Yes.
Right.
All right. 2.5 out of 10. Good night.
Oh, right. So you give this one 2.5 out. That might be your lowest score.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I'm unfair to it, you know, because it wasn't as boring.
Right. I'll just. Right.
I think this one. The problem is. You're doing it up pretty well with the cards. It was all just kind of
Right. So yeah, your sound cut off a little bit. So I'm just the audience can grab this and read it themselves about delightful dialogue, amateur hour, and then additional scraps of Jenna rape threat. What we got here? Oh, we've done that bit before. Yeah, so 2.5 out of 10. What does Morgan give it out of 10?
He said shrug.
Shrug. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not my favourite story.
You don't know your rating.
The spoiler for the next two episodes is they're better.
All right. Well, guess what? The next episode of Homicide is too.
I quite like the one that we watched.
I did too. This one's even better though.
Oh, very good. Right, so
look forward to that tomorrow.
So we didn't get through all the slides because it's not that good a story.
Right. Life goes on.
And I'm feeling it from Jeff that he doesn't really want to go through all the slides. So
no.
That's what I could do is I'd quickly show bits from the book and then not say anything. People can read this themselves. Well, people can read the book.
One letter
themselves.
Really, really close.
I'm just going to show
close up of a giant R.
People can read this themselves. There you go, folks. Synopsis. Pause and read, and then the next one. That's not right. That's missed.
That's not right.
There we go. People can pause and read that. Pause and read that, and then pause and read that, and then I'll go on to the next one.
And if anyone actually does pause and read it, then leave a comment that said you did, so I can know that somebody actually did that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because no one's commented on any of our Blake 7 videos yet, I don't think.
But I'm getting more views by putting it in the Blake 7 group, but it's only like 7 views.
But so, you know, if you're watching this, then comment and...
Them 7 views, dope.
And you can even, like, you know, if there's particular things where you're like, okay, I like Blake 7, but you guys spend too much time talking about wallpaper or, you know, whatever you want to say, then that's good, too, because it gives us some constructive criticism about what you want to hear about and stuff. So, you know, Ben could use that, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, well, we did.
No, that wasn't an
We
insult.
did
I'm
quite
saying-
well. Well, you know,
Huh?
we're trying to make it. That's fair enough. I mean, I like you honesty. I mean, you like the previous episode breakdown, and the episodes get better.
Yeah, no, I'm just encouraging feedback for anybody who's watching to, tell us what you like and don't like about our reviews too, So
But I mean, I'll just we can end on this where it has in the book, in one of the books, the first genuinely bad script presented in Blake 7, and then in this one, it actually.
I don't even know that I would call it a bad script. I would just call it a unfinished script. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of a disappointment in the script, but I wouldn't even say it's a bad script.
Well, neither would I.
Yeah, I just it just needed some fine tuning, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, I think it would be a whole lot better if they just cut the episode length down, and so they could ramp up the suspense a little bit and the pace of it, and not have so much just guard run around and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I like the character of Sarkoff. Being a sort of...
I didn't. I would smack him in the face if I saw that guy in real life.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he's kind of...
What's with that? Fair enough.
I
rather like this bloke, yeah. And then Dad's like, I would murder him if I ever saw him.
No, that I didn't say. I would murder him.
What's fair enough? It's his opinion. What am I supposed to say?
I'm like,
it's fair enough. He's allowed to have that opinion.
With the part where he was like, this is where I'm going to die or whatever, I'd be like, all right, see ya, die. Have fun. We'll go do this other thing. That's the thing is, like, they never even, they're like, oh, go back to your place and you'll do stuff. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what was the point of that?
They wanted him to oppose the Federation, but
I get it, but
it's
it's sort of like,
stupid.
It's like, I don't know.
Pretty unrelated. Unrelated to what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm your answer to your question about who's more ruthless. Me, I'm more ruthless because I probably would have canceled the show, and it never would have had a chance to, to really take off. Yeah, because I'm pretty brutal when it comes to, there would probably only be 7 or 8 television shows on the air if I was in charge. All reality shows are canceled.
Yeah, you tell me where you get. You tell me about shows you've loved that got cancelled.
Yeah, I know. So, which is why, see, if I, when I was a kid, I felt like there were more better shows. There was still a lot of junk, though. I mean, there was still entire nights of the networks where I didn't watch anything. There was just all these shows. Now they've got all these CSI shows and reality shows. It wasn't really in that sense any better when I was a kid. They just had more of the there was a whole bunch of shows that were somebody and somebody else. It was Hardcastle and McCormick, Chico and the Man, somebody in the Man and Machine, somebody and somebody else. It was always these duos of people. Jake and the Fat Man, and they were all most of them were just useless. For a kid, I mean, I guess at the time, I was probably not old enough to appreciate the stuff on most of those shows, but it seemed like a lot of boring stuff to me.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean,
so I'm not just being an old fogey and saying the new stuff is bad. There were plenty of bad old shows.
Yeah.
To really think about it, the percentage of television that was quality is, it's pretty small. It's always been small. It's just in those days when I was a kid, there was a whole lot less channels.
Yes.
So it didn't seem like there was as much crap as there is now because in total number of shows, there wasn't. But percentage-wise, it was probably about the same.
And in fact, there's so many channels now, they're even re-showing the crap from the past.
Well, yeah. So, and that's most of the things worth watching. Which is why I watch more YouTube than anything else. Than actual, networks that are showing current stuff.
I mean, that's how I watched Doctor Who, and then I watched Doctor Who in Blake 7 was they'd show it on this channel called UK Gold, which had this reputation of showing crap from the past.
Mm-hmm. There was even a radio show called Crap from the Past.
Maybe.
Anyway, did you turn off the recording yet?
No, not yet.
Oh.
So we're going to wind down. So it's good night from me.
Good night.
Right, so 2.5 out of 10, folks. There you go. Next one will get more, probably. Hope so.